All right, it's all you, Gary.
All right, September 4th, 2024, Washington County Fair Board meeting at 4:30. Members present, we can see Bettine is on, Jerry's on. In the room, we've got Troy, we've got Bob, and we got myself. We also have Bob and Leah in the room too, but we're missing
Mitch and Bill,
Mitch and Bill.
but we do have a quorum.
But Jerry, you wondered if we're gonna have a quorum, and yes, we do for right now. So what we'll do is we'll go into the next bullet. Already done that, is public comment. We have 2 public comment opportunities. First one is for 2 minutes. The next one at the end of the meeting is for 5 minutes. You can only attend one of the public comments, you choose. And for the first one, we go a total of 10 minutes. And for the second one, we'll go a total of 30 minutes if we have people that would like to talk. Is there anybody that would like to address the Fair Board?
We have nobody online.
Nobody's online? Anybody in the room?
There's nobody in the room
There's
for those
nobody
of
in
you
the room.
online.
So we have no public comments. All right, let's move on to financials.
Okay. So we have 2 financials to review tonight. The first one is our fiscal year 2023-2024 that ended on June 30th of 2024. As a reminder, that is our previous fiscal year, which encompassed the 2023 county fair. And I'm very pleased with how our numbers turned out. I know we were a little bit worried about transient lodging tax, which actually came in and exceeded budget. And then overall for the fiscal year, we exceeded expenditures by $124,895. And then just a couple comments. There are, just like every year in the, the last, March, April, May, June, there are some charges that are incurred for the 2024 county fair. And we know that happens and those roll forward every year. So it's not unusual. Any questions? Jared?
Jerry, any questions? There's no way he's not gonna say something.
There we go.
I submitted my questions to Leah earlier today. They were basically just asking about, and it's about more about the next financial report, which is just July. But no, we've gone through these financials before. So I didn't, the only thing that's been added is basically June and close out the year. Everything looks good, and we've certainly addressed all those issues before. So I'll wait and we can talk about July.
Yeah, because I mean, even though July is here, most of our money comes in August, so that's the case.
So we do need a motion to approve last fiscal year's.
Okay, so let's get a motion to approve for 2023, June 30th to the 30th of this year. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand or say aye. Okay, Jerry raised his hand. Bettine, can you?
Yes.
Right on, thanks, Bettine.
Yeah, cool.
Troy and Bob rose, yes, I said yes, so we have a approval of the first financials. Now what we'll do is we'll go into the second approval of the financials for fiscal year 24 through July 31st of 2024 for 1 month. This will be a big one, Jerry.
So so just as a reminder, the fair ended just a month ago. Seems like just yesterday, but also a really long time ago. So these are the expenditures and revenue for just July of 2024 to encompass the 2024 fair. So as a reminder, these are not all of our expenses and these are not all of our revenues. The majority of our revenue and expenditures will show up in August. And then we will continue to have expenditures trickle in September and October. Most of the events, most of the vendors have been paid in August. We still have a few outstanding that'll come in the next couple of months. But so this is a very small picture of what actually is you will see at your next meeting. So again, just the revenue that was only received in July, there's still a lot of revenue that you will see that will come in August, and same thing from expenses. Jerry asked me a question earlier today, and I knew Jerry was going to ask, so I was so excited when he asked me in an email ahead of time about a couple of revenue accounts and a couple of expenditure accounts, which you will see are new and do not have any budget associated with those. I had been asking for approval to add some account line item codes to our budget, and we finally got approval to do that. The county does not love to add line item account codes. So after a campaign of why we needed to do it for the Fair Board, they finally approved. And so that's why it didn't happen during the budget cycle. But this is going to allow us to track some of these big ticket items like we do parking. So if you remember a few years ago, we added a parking expenditure line item so we could start comparing revenue to expenditure. We're going to start doing the same thing with tracking our concessions revenue expenditure, tracking our commercial vendors revenue and expenditure. And then we're going to start breaking out and really looking at those expenditure line items that are very big, such as safety and security and sanitation and janitorial. Those are very large line items for us, and lumping it all into professional services really isn't helping us see the big picture of the fair. So we will code things into those line items, even though they don't have a budget assigned to them. Just know that then it will make that the professional services line item will have less attributed to that. So it will even out from an overall budget standpoint. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Oh, and I have one other thing to note that's super exciting. So you will see if I can find it, that there is under other miscellaneous revenue, account 48225, there's $95,065 worth of revenue. And that is money that the Fair Board, the Washington County Fair Board, and all fair boards in the state of Oregon were given by the state of Oregon for lost COVID revenue. So we just got that check at the beginning of July because we didn't get to have a fair in 2020. We lost revenue, and I submitted a lot of documentation on what we likely would have had for revenue. And so that was an allocation that they gave to our fair for those lost revenues. So that's not money that we really earned this year, but it's money that we're realizing in this fiscal year.
Any questions?
No, I want to say thank you, Leah, for the answers that you got from me. And yes, it was particularly in regards to the new accounts. And so, yeah, we can't do the reallocation of professional services on this budget because that gets finance all twisted. So we'll just kind of monitor that as it goes along. It still kind of boggles my mind, the cost of parking. We are still in the black on that, so we make more revenue than it costs us to do that, but it still is a pretty significant number. And when you look at the fact that we had almost $229,000 of parking fee income, I don't know, that just it's kind of amazing to me that we have to pay that kind of money to do that. And then the safety and security of $177,000 that we spent in July. I guess I would like to ask, could you kind of give us a snapshot of what all that includes?
Sure. So that 177 that is in there for July, that is almost exclusively our security provider, our company that we use. It's not law enforcement. It's our gate guards, our people that are checking bags, the people that are making sure people go through the turnstiles, guarding gates and doors, and doing OLCC monitoring. That's almost all of that. Next month in August and September, you will see the big charges coming through. And that will be the $190,000 that we pay for our excellent Sheriff's Department services, which we pay not all of what they're spending. So excellent value for us. That will come through, and some other charges for safety and security that are still outstanding. So that's why I wanted to break this out so we can see the big picture, because it's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars that we spend in safety and security for the fair.
And Jerry noticed that the sheriff's cost $190,000. Hillsborough Police is $50,000. Hillsborough Fire Department, the best public safety agency in the county, charges $0.
It's true.
Speaks for itself.
That's right.
Well, they got a lot of PR that they need to make up for some leadership several years ago. So I think
Oh,
they're still
goodness.
working on that.
So I just, while we're talking about the sheriff's department, I do want to greatly stress the amazing partnership that we have with the sheriff's department, and also with the juvenile department, and the gang enforcement team. And there's one other one that I'm drawing a blank on now, darn it. So they don't charge us for all of their services. They charge us for, what we budgeted, and we actually authorized a little bit more this year. But what we get for it is amazing. We have the best team that's out here. The public loves them. So not only are they keeping us safe and secure, but they are having a great time interacting with the public. It's a great PR thing for the county, and we are so grateful. At the end of every day, the sheriff's department comes in and tells me kind of a recap of what happened the day before, and the things that we don't even see that they're handling. They're removing people who aren't allowed to be around children before they even make it in through the gates. And they're just handling silently, quietly, and professionally so many things. So I don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. And I cannot stress enough how grateful and lucky we are to have them, because I know a lot of other county fairs don't have the support like we have from their sheriff's department. So that's just a little plug in the middle of our financial discussion. But going back to some of these account codes, Jerry, so I think there's going to be a little bit, maybe more parking money coming in. In August, I might be wrong, but we do, it does always astound me as well about how much we spend on parking to make it safe, to make it secure, to move all those vehicles around, to cross people along the roads. We have to have flaggers, and we have to pay HPD, and it's a very expensive operation that we have to run.
Yeah, well, the good news is that we still show black numbers on that, so we bring in more revenue than the expenses. So that's a good side. I just want to say, Leah, this is just the first week of September, and we have July financials already. So I want to say kudos to you for getting these financials to us this soon, and certainly for putting on a great fair. And you're going to talk about that later on in your fair report. I'm going to step out here in about 10 minutes, but this is great. So if there isn't any further comments or questions, I'm ready to make a motion when you want me to, Chair.
Make the motion, Jerry.
Okay, I move we approve the monthly financials for the July 2024.
Okay. Okay, Bob made the second. All in favor, signal by raising your hand or saying aye. Looks like we got everybody an aye.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Great, thank you.
financials are approved. All right, county fair recap.
Okay, so again, the fair was just 30 days ago, so I don't have a ton of data, but I do have a little bit of preliminary information that I can share with you. And then at our next meeting in November, I will have everything ready for you to have all the numbers. We're still aggregating a lot of data, but in the meantime, I want to just do some fast facts. So even though I have it at the very bottom that we had perfect weather, I'm going to talk about perfect weather, because all of these little pink arrows that are going up are in large part because we had absolutely perfect weather. We only had one day that was a little bit warm, and that was our second day. And it was like 91, and it wasn't that bad. And then every other day was in the low 80s. It was absolutely magical weather. And we have not been so fortunate in the past to have this kind of weather. So our marketing department will always tell you that we can do all sorts of things. We can have the best fair, we can do everything right, but if the weather is bad, we're in big trouble. So we can see that 186,811 people come through the gates when the weather is good, which is a 19% increase. I want to remind those of you in the room and online, actually all of you together, that remember, we only count the people who come through the public gates. We do not count any 4-H families. We do not count 4-H kids, FFA kids, open class participants. We don't count vendors, concessionaires, workers, janitorial. And those are all people that all other fairs count. But we decided as a fair board, long before most of you were here, back in 2004, that we were only going to count the people who actually came through the public gates. And we weren't going to count the workers and the participants because they were part of the show. So if we were to add all those other people, we'd be well over 200,000, but 186,811 people is absolutely amazing. And when you have 19% more people, you get 22% more in carnival revenue, 27% more in concession revenue, 30% more in parking revenue. And then, of course, our livestock entries were 62% up, which had nothing to do with the weather, but because we had more dairy goats than I can even explain. I think we had 300 dairy goats, and I've never seen so many goats in my entire life, but they are a great group and we were very excited to have them. They will not be back next year, but next year we have another goat group that wants to come in and we are meeting with them tomorrow. So goats are where it's at right now. So these are just some quick fast facts. Do you have anybody have questions about these?
And we also had the turkey show.
We did.
We had turkeys this year, besides some of them that are up on the computer.
We had a lot of turkeys this year, and I'll actually tell you about why that is. So the livestock auction did not used to allow poultry in the livestock auction. And last year, the Washington County Livestock Association changed their rules and started allowing small animals such as turkeys in the livestock auction. So all of a sudden, a lot of kids got turkeys to have at the fair so they could sell them in the auction. So that's why we had turkeys. So it was super fun to have them there. All right, moving along. So advertising and marketing, I'm going to the first thing I'm gonna do is say thank you to Bob. So Bob's here in the room. I'm gonna play one of our 15, I'm gonna attempt to play one of our TV spots. I don't know if it's going to work. This is not my expertise. And then Bob's going to give us a little bit of a recap. Is it going to work? It is not going to work. Okay, never mind. I'll send it to you in an email later. Okay, so Bob, go ahead and just go over our traditional media campaign and let me know when you're ready to move on to the next slide.
If I could jump in just a bit,
Yes.
Leah, I do remember seeing some advertisements on TV, and I can't remember what channel it was, but it was a good marketing pitch. So good job on that.
Good. I just want to, those of you that have met Bob before and know Bob, this was Bob's first year doing marketing and advertising for the fair. Reminder, Lisa Dupre, who had done our marketing advertising for 25 years, retired after the fair last year. So Bob was all new and he had new strategies and new ideas, and I think it worked very well.
So a lot of traditional media we kept the same because it was not working. And so my only spin on making something new is just the volume advertising we had. So instead of doing 30s or 60s, we just did bookend 50s. The stations like it, or a buck. So basically what that means is coming into a commercial break, 100%, as you re-enter live TV or the last app. And then you can place your general ad on that, rotate third ad or 3 ads back, so that you can highlight the animals, food, and carnival on the back end and go out breaks your influence. That's the strategy I like. For a special event like us, it's all about getting it out there as many times. And it works. You did radio the first time since we voted. We had a buy with the Wolf I'd like to see more of the same there. We had the Wolf actually on site for a radio, which is rare nowadays. Post-COVID, they don't really do that anymore. We paired them with the only boy on the second Saturday. They came out, this is the giveaways for the carnival on the same day. And she had so many people come up to her and say, we love your radio station. So they're a good parent for us because we know our demographic out there. So we can probably expect a little of that next year.
I also heard it on the Bowl, 98.7.
And
So they were there, especially with Neil McCoy.
yeah, so it's interesting to see, and that kind of all in the PR strategy of what we do this year as well, is sending out a lot of press releases and giving other stations access to what we have.
Okay.
Free, actually, of course.
Wow.
So even though we didn't have TV spots, we should purchase through 8-12, they're still in our spots. And do things for us because we're a positive impact on and they like positive stories as we talk about. We're community events and we're free. So there's nothing bad you can say about what we do. So they pick us up and they want it. So our strategy for next year is going to be talk about it.
Okay.
And we proved it this year that they want to be part of it. Did a lot of ticket giveaways through traditional media and through their websites and on-page takeovers. They like doing that, we like doing it, so it's a good, and our on board. So they do it. Digital and social media. This is the part where we kind of change the dynamic. We really rely on organic in social media, and we push our paid in a completely different direction this year, and I think that we all.
Hey, Bob, can I just pause you for a minute? Can you mute and see if we get rid of this echo? Oh, you're muted. When I mute, then Jerry.
If you mute Leah, we can't hear him. I think he's coming through you. So if he could move over closer to where you are, because we hear you really nice and clear. So if he could just move over to where you're sitting and talk into your computer, I think it would be better.
Let's see how much feedback I get now. Is that good, Gary? Can you hear me?
It's really bad. Yeah, I think you need to come over here.
And he gets to see about,
All right, can you hear me now, Jared? Okay. So the digital and social media is completely different this year in terms of what we did for paid. Our paid posts were in terms of, I was telling Bob this before we all sat down here. Everything we did this year was what the general public. We have an organic following on social media, so these are people who want to follow us and believe in what we're doing and want to be a part of it. And so all of our paid advertising really went through them and then they pushed it out to their friends and followers. And then those people really picked up on it. The through rate for our search campaign was 60% after it was all said and done.
Unheard of.
Industry standard is less than 6%. Wow, yes, that's crazy. Overall, our through rate was 13%, and industry standard is also is less than. Wow. So they're buying what we're selling, basically. So that's it, though. I mean, what more do you want than what we're selling?
Yeah.
And it's a pretty fair. So.
Great, thank you, Bob.
good job. Wow, impressive.
All right, any questions on media and marketing?
I don't have any questions, but I do have to jump out of here. I want to say congratulations, Bob. That's great, and the results are great. So good job. And then Gary, as you know, Bill Ganger's wife had surgery, and he's getting ready to have surgery. So, and he's not in this meeting, right?
No.
So if we could maybe send him a, I don't know, a get well note, something like that, because he's been taking care of his wife for a couple weeks now, and now he goes under the knife, and so I know he's a little nervous about that. So
Okay.
if we could send him a card, that would be great.
Yep,
And
I'll get
so,
something out.
great, thank you. I'm going to sign
Thanks,
off.
Gary.
You bet.
All right.
Okay, and then that really is the end of our presentation until we have something more thorough. So a big fair fund returns next July 18th through 27th, 2025. Exactly.
Thanks, Leah. Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Thank you.
And we don't have 4-H here, right?
Uh-uh.
Okay, and we don't need a second communications.
Nobody's still online. Is anybody public online yet?
No,
Nope. Nobody?
do we have any CEO update or anything?
Well, Danny?
Well, just, more kudos for Leah. So I think, as part of our, this year's budgeting process for the county, we've got such great information about the fair. You heard, we were talking about like the different funds. We're really trying to make sure that we've got all of our, ducks in a row. And so last year's budget process was a little bit up and down. We're hoping to get a schedule out to everyone so that you can see exactly how the budget process will tie into the fair's budgeting process, and get that calendar out to you, I think, soon. And then I think we're starting to I don't know if you watched the board meetings, but on the last board meeting, one of the board's legislative priorities for the upcoming long session is to try to attract more funding for the master plan.
Oh, okay.
And so, I think it's a credit to how organized, all of Leah's experience, really doing a good job of kind of, being part of One Washington County, but also making sure that, that we are continuing to be aware about the relationship more than that, how we want to support the fair. And I think, everyone I talked to who went to the fair, Washington County is just so thrilled about the fair, and congratulations to all the fair board, and we're really looking forward to secret thing about it. So, hopefully, everyone will have more and more information about that.
So on another, like One Washington County, I think I sent out a message right after the fair. Maybe I'm slightly delirious about, really that the fair really is a One Washington County. Like I mentioned, we've got the sheriff's department, but we have a lot of other departments that take part. I mean, the health department is here every single day and really supporting us. The county buys a booth in the Wingspan, and I want to share that my niece and nephew, 4 and 7, they come to the fair. They live here in town, and they come every single day, all 10 days, and they go to the Washington County booth first because it's got good swag. So they got a law library Frisbee, and they always got like some little Washington County trinket so I was taking photos of the kids with them and sending them to those departments, like, oh, they loved law library. And we got a lot of positive comments from just county employees who would just send us messages like, we went, like, you don't know me, but I work for the county and we went to the fair and we loved it. Thank you. We get those kinds of messages a lot. So it really is a One Washington County endeavor.
Super fun. We got a little bit of a detail around some of the updates and all the increases in revenue, and I shared that with our county administrator, shared with our board, and just everyone's thrilled about the success. So congratulations.
Excellent, thank you.
Great. So I think it's really, you can't wait to tell the story to the legislature about the programs and the master's plan and stuff. We're also in the same direction.
Well, that was good that we got the COVID money.
Yeah.
And now that they say monkeypox is an epidemic, maybe we'll get monkeypox money.
We'll get some money for that.
Yeah, one thing that I want to do, and not everybody's here, so I'll send it by email. I want to give you some homework. Realizing we don't have the complete update on what went well at the fair. So I'd like to get the board's perspective, and I will send it out. 3 things that went very well, and explain, as well as 3 things that we can do to improve for next year. So we'll put that on, and we'll be able to address that at the November 6th meeting. So we'll do that. Number 6 is a great day.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't even think about that.
It's my birthday. So we'll do that, and then remember, vote November 5th.
That's right. I forgot your birthday was the day after election day. I did know that though. I have two board announcements. The first one is for, I thank those of you that reached out when we were providing livestock evacuation support. I really appreciate that. We did have livestock from the Lee Falls fire. You know, we had livestock here for about 4 days. Thank you to the staff. It was really like, it was good timing. It was bad timing. The fair had just ended. Since the 2020 wildfires after the fair every year, just so you guys know that when our staff is cleaning up after the fair, they immediately reset the barns back up to be prepared for in the event that we have wildfires. So it was only 1 week after the fair and we were able to stand up a livestock evacuation facility within 30 minutes. And that is because we keep the fair set up year round. From a livestock standpoint. So again, thank you all for those of you that are reaching
How
out.
many animals do you
Off the top of my head, I don't recall. It was less than 200. Lots of poultry, lots and lots of poultry and some goats and some horses and things like that. We of course got more support with the posse. That's kind of the posse and our staff we have a really good plan and we've trained for it. And we said that because we were so prepared, we were never going to need it, but we did. But those are great things for us to talk about from a legislative standpoint. So going into these legislative sessions, when we're talking about support for the fairgrounds, those are also good stories to tell. And then the Oregon Fairs Association Conference is coming up in Redmond. Troy and Bill and Mitch attended last year. I just got the schedule, kind of the final schedule today. There's not a ton of things for board members on it, but there's some good things. So I'll send that out to you for those of you who would like to attend. The dates off the top of my head, I can't remember. It's like the October 18th through the 22nd. It's 2 days in Redmond. Excellent programming. And I'll send that information out to you. But if you are able to attend or want to attend, let me know quickly so I can make hotel reservations. Last year, I really didn't keep on you guys about it and we almost didn't get hotel rooms. So I want to get those booked early if you're able to attend. And that's it from me.
Any other comments?
The music was great.
For the fair, yeah.
And everyone I've talked to is saying the same things, but we spent a lot of time listening to the bands and the jugglers in between were hilarious. I mean, it was everyone just had a and you know what I saw? I saw a lot of people making room for other people that they didn't know. Here, come on, you can sit here. You can,
Wow.
hey, yeah, come on over. We have room at our table. It was nice to see. And everybody that my family and friends that all came out just loved it.
Good weather makes people happy.
Good weather makes them happy.
Sound.
Yeah.
I sat right next to their booth both times I came down.
Mm.
They're just great people. Very informative, sharing what they're doing. And just kind of cool as remembering, you know. And Leah asked us to stop and talk to vendors
Yeah.
and I did with quite a few of them and they were happy. And this was a really good fair. I'm not fair jealous. For us.
Good.
That was awesome.
And the pancakes went well.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well,
We got to do that again. I'll talk to Bob to see if he can provide the mix again.
Yeah.
That was worth the money.
Oh my golly, was it ever.
I heard they were delicious.
They were.
easy to handle and not much cleanup.
We just have to wash those 5-gallon tubs.
Pancake batter.
Yeah.
We'd start at 6:30 making pancakes and we'd stop at 8:15.
We learned after the first day again, as usual, that when you get behind, you get a long line. So
We could have started earlier. You get they can't sit all that long. You know, but the kids were patient. They didn't really have to wait that long.
they did, yeah.
I mean, one of the things is we need to get that equipment ready before we show up that day. Because it was pretty, we got you.
Yeah.
So maybe we can, because I know
up
Albert
at-
didn't get it in until late, but
Yeah.
maybe we could get it in the day and we can prep everything.
Well, the problem is 4-H dogs are showing in that area
Okay.
during the day, but when they're done that afternoon, if all of you guys come in and help get it ready, we could do that.
Okay,
The only
Sure.
reason for that
Mhm.
yeah.
was, we shouldn't go out for the daylight.
No, it was very clean.
Yeah, we
But
cleaned it.
We had one,
Not question, when we had
The one we did the sausage on was,
when they opened it up for the homeless shelter during that, did anybody use our grills?
Not that I'm aware of, but it could have happened.
I think somebody,
Okay,
Because they were pretty beat up.
all right, good to know.
well,
But the supplies, we were pretty good on the supplies.
my only complaint was my coffee wasn't kept filled as it should have been. I'm not mentioning any names.
And we did lose we're out of the county coffee that had Bill's Chalet on it, so.
We'll see if Bob can work on that plan again. The designer coffee.
That was good. Yeah, it was
You could get any kind of, you could get an espresso, you could get anything you want, as long as
That's
it's
right.
black and Gary was pouring.
They were surprised when I told them, said, you tell me what you want, you're gonna get it, but it's gonna taste like black coffee.
Excellent. Good.
Do we have any more of that coffee left? Or are we about out? We're out.
We're
Okay.
out. We are out. It was a promotion that we did, but we might be able to resurrect it. We'll see.
Got a lot of help too, it was nice.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Granddaughters loved it,
Oh,
yeah.
they were so cute.
They had a good time doing it. They raised, what they raised, about 70-some bucks, so we gave to 4-H.
Yeah, they did.
So Alan took the money and put it into gifts for 4-H kids,
Oh, good.
which was neat. So we did that, so that was good in there, but they had a great time, so. Hey, now with Bill going in for surgery, has he got it arranged to take care of his animals and feed?
I don't know. You'd have to ask.
I'm sure he does. He's got a good boy, the guy that does that.
I know he's got quite a few people that do it.
Who likes his kids?
I've met him, I can't remember the,
Yeah.
can't remember the name,
Susie.
but there.
But I'll ask him because I know one of the kids we sponsored, Kurt Hermans. You remember Kurt? Kurt's a firefighter out in Fort Scruggs, so.
Yeah.
We can probably get some help there too. So,
Okay.
okay, I'll give you a call.
Sounds good.
Right on. Okay, then a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Motion we adjourn. Wow, 42 minutes. No. Yeah. That's pretty dang quick.
All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye, Fatine.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lee. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
So Gary,
Okay.
this guy and his wife were at a restaurant having dinner.
How
And
do I do it?
in walks this beautiful young girl, walks over to the guy, gives him a big kiss.